VDOT just bought a paver recently. We're going to bring it up and pave the line.
Yeah.
It's
and
the
then-
pavers in Dickinson County right now. And as soon as it gets done, we'll have it.
And 624 is on the 6-year plan.
624. Yeah, I don't have the full plan in front of me. It may be a few years out, but I'm pretty sure it is on the plan.
It is.
Yeah.
I live there.
Yeah, I think I know right where you live.
I think you do.
Let me mention Sarah Circle. The gentleman from American Legion mentioned it earlier, and he kind of threw that in at the end. He's a bus driver down there that has a problem.
I heard him mention something, but I couldn't.
A year and a half ago, when I first came on board, that was the first complaint I had. And he didn't finish the whole story, this gentleman this morning did. There's a culvert that goes from Sarah Circle over under the dam on Boone Road toward the railroad that is a half to 3/4 full. Every rain like this one we got this week, it floods several homes, basements up through there on that circle. And I was told, I guess a year ago, that there was some new machines that would actually replace culverts. And the two people from VDOT left here and went down there and talked to property owners. And that's the last I've heard of it.
Yeah, that was Mr. Christian and myself went down.
It was, yes,
And
yes.
we have plans to put in a new culvert there and change the angle of it. Because the angle it's sitting on right now, once the creek gets up, it's back flushing back up through the culvert. It has been put in for environmental clearance. So we do have the work plan to do, just waiting on clearances, and things are just getting really backed up with shortage of labor and materials and everything.
Okay, that's understandable. He mentioned the west side of Sarah Circle. That sounds like just a chug-o or something on that end. I drove it 2 or 3 times just looking and seeing what he was talking about. And that culvert's a problem. I think that's the main thing.
I agree.
Yeah.
And we do have it
Okay.
planned to replace.
All right.
I have a question that a citizen had asked me in our community, and he may be watching, and that's okay, and I'll try to explain the best I know how. I know VDOT wants people to go to the website and,
Yes.
you know, to do the, fill out the work orders and things like that. So is there a way, it can come from any one of our districts and all these work orders go in, but there's no feedback to us in our county that we're able to, you know, off a spreadsheet, you know, and having some sort of feedback, you know, that way.
I can definitely get the board some information on current open work orders and that sort of thing. So.
Well, that would be helpful. I mean, I guess that's what we're trying to get at, because you know, a lot of citizens from each of our districts could put, you know, work order in. I wouldn't even know about it, or they wouldn't know about it. It would be helpful to us to know that progress, you know, is happening on the county side of it.
Okay.
You know, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does, and I'll work on getting the board some information on
Okay.
and just for some perspective, Scott County, we get more work orders from Scott County. We get at least 3,000 work orders a year from Scott County, and at the least our Fort Blackmore, for instance. Each of our employees has 130 miles of road per employee that they're responsible for. So it's a lot of work, and we're trying some new things to try to keep up with some of it and get ahead.
And we'll talk more about that, you know, after this meeting.
But I'll definitely we'll come up with a way to get you some information on what's open, the progress of it, that sort of thing.
I think that would be helpful to each of the supervisors here as well. Highway 58 tree situation, we've talked about this before.
Yes.
On Highway 58, like you're going towards Hilton, probably about a 1/4 mile up there, just past Hill project that you're working on.
Yes.
There's a tree that actually fell here a couple of weeks ago across the road, 58. We've been talking about this for months. There's another one that's, as a result of that one falling, it's leaning all the way across 58. It's going to fall, okay? Somebody can put some signs out there and make that thing fall without somebody getting hurt. I guess that's the point on that. AP Quarter Highway. Pretty much all the way up through there. I mean, it's a lot of people like to travel that road. There's a lot of traffic on it. The ditches are very close to the road. And in a place or two, you know, where there's culvert, the pavement has partially broken away there, and you try to dodge that. If you're meeting a vehicle, you practically ought to stop, and I'll give you more information on that after this. But as a whole, the ditches on both sides of the AP Quarter Highway, there's a lot of tiles that are stopped up. I told you it wouldn't be too hard. Long Ridge Road, I think we may have talked about this before. It's off of Highway 23 before you get to the Tennessee state line, where the pavement is broken up because of the fuel trucks that are going in and out of there. Excuse me. From barger transport, I guess you'd call it, where they can travel in and out of there. If somebody could take a look at that, I've had citizens that live there call about that. So, and I have a couple, 3 other things, but I'll talk with you about that later.
Well, I'll get out to Long Ridge and take a look at it. Like I said, we recently invested in a VDOT on paper, so our guys can get out and do some paving ourselves, and we don't have to rely on contractors. So that's what we got it for, to take care of issues like this. So I'll get out and look at it and see.
Appreciate that. And I'll say this. Wade and I talked here a few days ago, and we talked about him coming down today. And this is your first time coming up like this in this capacity before us. Appreciate you coming. And Wade's always been very helpful every time I call him to try to get an issue resolved and that sort of thing. So I appreciate that very much.
I mean, just like the gentleman was talking about you guys earlier, that, you know, you serve the community. That's my job too. That's what I want to do. I try to do my best at it. And you know, sometimes you can't give people the answer they want, but I do. I'm very serious about trying to do my best for the community and
You're like Jack
so.
back there. You got a passion.
Yeah.
All right, good. That's what we like to see.
Well, I've got several roads. One of them was the ball field road that Jim was talking about. That's in my district. There's a cluster of unpaved roads that's around Addington Frame, Midway, Twin Springs. There's just a cluster of roads. Hell Springs,
Yeah, as the gentleman was talking, I took taking some notes, and I'm going to go out and see if there's anything we can do to make some improvements. But as you guys know, about our only option to get a dirt road paved is the secondary 6-year plan.
People are, of course, he was a little different. He's wanting his road paved. He's mentioned that several times to me. But people in general are getting to the point that they don't care whether it's paved or not. They've got to have some sort of maintenance done on these roads. I've turned in I don't know how many work orders. The simple ones are what I would call simple. They may not be simple to you all, but going out and just scraping the road, and fixing it. That's one thing, but we're going to have our ditches cleaned out. We're going to have drain tiles put in and cleaned out. Until that happens, you can go on Hell Springs Road right now, I guarantee you, and there'll be 15 tons of gravel on private property where it's washed off. You know, this is not just damaging, you know, our roads and damaging vehicles that's trying to go over it. It's damaging personal property, you know, because, you know, the agricultural property, you know, that's being covered by this, you know, we got to figure out a way to control the water, and I know that's hard. Water is probably one of the hardest things to control that there is, but you know, Luray Road, about I got a call. I'd put in several work order things, and I got a call saying that they were going to fix it, but as to my knowledge, Bill lives over there or towards that area. His family does. They've not done anything yet. Is that right? There's like 6 or 7 drain tiles within 100 yards maybe, and it's almost like they've just put one, and it's fairly steep. Of course, the bus travels all these roads pretty much.
Yeah.
You know, in this cluster that I'm talking about, and I wish we could show it on a map. You know, it is a cluster, and those of you who know where I'm talking about, there's a lot of roads. Snowflake Road, I mentioned that a lot. It's the water situation. It's there needs to be drain tiles put in, cleaned out. I don't know what it would take, because, you know, I know it's a money issue. It takes money to do this. It takes manpower to do this. But the longer we leave it untouched, the worse it's going to get. And I bet today we could take a 4-wheel drive truck and it would drag over a ditch where the water crosses the road. You know, you could go, and maybe I make it sound simpler than what it is, but you could go now, and where the water is crossing the road, put a drain tile, because we're already getting runoff onto private property, but it's getting all the gravel and dirt. I mean, there's a lot of these roads that's down to the bedrock. You know, there's no gravel there, and when they do scrape them, it's just mud. It's not the ball field road where this that he was talking about is real steep. And I don't know if there's something that you all could do about that that would help the runoff there. But it's real steep, and the gravel. The last time I was there, the road was red. It was just clay. There was no gravel. Because all the gravel was in somebody's field down the road. You know, and it's not just the gravel roads. There's a place, and I meant to get the address. It's on 71, right down below where you turn off to go to Long Holler Road, right J&P, the gas station. It's right down below there. There is, I guess it's a drain tile issue. There's so much water going down through there that it's eating away from the bank of where 71 is, and eventually that's going to keep on going underneath there. But you just have to see it to see.
It does. I think I may have looked at that issue. Does it look like a hole beside of the road as you're?
Yeah, there's a fence there, and then they keep it mowed.
The issue there is the issue's on private property. There's a pipe that goes under some private property there, and that pipe has failed. And it would be up to the property owners to fix that portion. If they don't fix that portion first, anything that we do is not going to stay, or
So it's the property owner that's above where that drain tile goes under.
Off the right of way there. There's somebody has piped like an old stream there, and that pipe has started failing, and it's on private property where, you know, we can't do anything about it. But until that issue's fixed, there's really nothing that we can do that's going to be able to stay, because every time it rains, until that issue off of our right of way is fixed, it's just going to wash the stone away and anything that we put in there. So.
Okay.
I've looked at that one a couple of times and tried to reach out to the property owner.
Okay. Well,
If we're talking about the same
yeah,
location, but it
I don't
sounds
know.
like it.
This one, again, all the runoff is going onto one farm, and it's getting piled. I mean, it's probably knee deep of dirt and stone that's coming. But there is, I guess, another drain tile above there that's a private drive that goes underneath that private drive, and then it goes down and cuts across 71 onto a pasture field.
Okay, if you could you give me an address?
Yeah, I
for
didn't
the
get this
location?
morning, but I
can give you a card before I leave.
Okay, yeah, but I don't know, there's so many issues, it just, I don't know where to begin. And it feels like it were, you know, Joey was talking about, it wasn't our last, was he here our last meeting or meeting before last or something like that? You know, he said this, Scott County was number 2, you know, with unpaved roads,
It is.
you know, in the whole state. But people are getting to where, you know, they want to maintain, you know, they're, you know, I'm hearing more issues like that. You know, we're going to have to figure out a way whether we have to reach out to somebody, if that's something that we can do as a board, to reach out to somebody in Richmond to try to get more funding or whatever, manpower, well, of course that's funding, whatever it takes to help, you know, since we do have this amount of roads, you know, we need the manpower and the financial ability to maintain them.
Well, we're very aware of the issues, and I mean, I'm 100% agree with you. Ditchings are a major problem in the whole Wise residency, not just Scott County, but we are trying different things. We've bought some.
How many employees y'all have in Fort Blackmore now?
At Fort Blackmore, we are supposed to have 13, and I think I've got 8, 9 right now. We're short a superintendent,
Yeah.
we're short a crew leader, we're short 2 operators, which is our truck drivers.
Did they have 20 some there at one time?
Oh, Lord, yeah. Yeah,
Because that's part of the issue.
Years,
I mean, it's
yeah.
not your all's fault. I mean, it's just the fact that you don't have the resources you used to have.
Well, and typically we've got hired equipment contractors
Right.
that we can call for help, and with all the price increases on fuel and things, all of our contractors are dropping their contracts and rebidding them due to fuel costs. So we have no hard equipment support right now. It's just
Right.
on that.
Yeah, talked about that for Blackmore. Nicholsville's basically closed. I mean, there's not really anybody there that, you know, work-wise, you know, that
Yeah.
goes out and,
Yeah, we keep some materials and everything.
but I mean, it's just not, you know, somebody mentioned, and I hadn't really thought about this, but the other day, you know, the state closed these, you know, basically Nicholsville, Gate City, they closed these, and we lost those jobs. We lost those state paying jobs, you know, that was there. And, you know, I hadn't really thought about that, but that's right. I mean, you know, it's a loss of jobs that people will be paying into the communities in our county. We've lost that, and you know, for the amount of maintenance work that needs to be done just in our county, I'm sure others are similar, but ours, with one of the most unpaved roads, I mean, there has to be some sort of a maintenance schedule, and I've said that before. I don't know if that's doable, and I know it takes money.
Well, like I said, we are working on some things to try to help in Scott County. We're buying new equipment to help with ditching, to where we can run a ditching operation with less people, and it's more productive. We did a test not too long ago with our new piece of ditching equipment, and under the ideal conditions, to see how many miles of ditching we could do in one day. And with this new equipment, we got like 8 miles of ditching in one day. But And we're also looking at, through attrition, as some people leave in other counties, we may reassign some jobs to Scott County. That'll give us more
Very good.
bodies to help do some work. And then as our new hire equipment contracts and stuff go out to bid, then that'll get us some more help.
Well, maybe, I'll get in touch with you.
Yeah, so-
One other thing, it was, I guess what Marshall was talking about, if we could just give the people an explanation,
Yeah.
you know, and, you know, that's like the Luray Road deal, and there was some others too that I got a phone call about saying it's gonna be fixed. Then I tell people it's gonna be fixed, and it's still not, you know, I understand the inflation, it's all about the money, so. But,
Well, we need to do a better job of contacting citizens to let them know what's going on.
But,
And
yeah.
I'll work with the managers in Scott County to make sure that they're keeping citizens better informed and calling.
Write this address down, the guy talked to him, he had contacted VDOT. It's 5585 River Bluff Road.
I'm sorry, that was 5585?
Yep. 5585 River Bluff Road.
Oh, River
Is that-
Bluff.
Yes, 653, I think, the south side of the Clinch River. And I contacted somebody about it some time ago, and I don't, anyway, said it's still not fixed. Well, the drain pipe is totally blocked, and it's taking his driveway out every time it rains, so it's right there at his driveway, and I looked at it, he said every time it rains, it's got to redo my driveway, because that pipe is totally blocked.
Okay.
I think it's been drove on, caved down on the upper side of it, but you can't even see it. You can see where it exits, you can't see where it enters, so anyway, if you do that, he said he contacted somebody too. I don't know if it maybe out back when Alan Sumter was there, I don't remember, but it's been a long time ago, and so anyway. But he said that he replaced the pipe himself. I said, well, I don't think so. But he's all done it himself if they'll let me.
Is it a cross pipe or a
It is a
driveway
cross,
pipe?
it's a cross pipe, crosses
Okay.
River Bluff Road.
Well, I'll get it looked at and take.
But his question was, can I fix it myself? He said, I got a tractor and stuff, I'll dig it out. And I said, well, probably not.
Yeah,
because
we
kind of frown on
frown
that.
on that, yeah.
And that's what I told him, but I said, anyway, he said he's just that desperate to get it fixed.
Can you look at this one too?
Sure, I'll look at anything else.
Emerald Valley Circle, where it crosses, where they're at the intersection of Ford Creek. That's a really, really bad flooded area. They sent me that message a while back.
And it's a drainage issue.
It is a drainage issue. Drain tile is at the intersection of Emerald Valley Circle and Ford Creek.
Any other issues that anybody needs
I
to?
want to thank, if anybody don't have anything, I want to thank Wade for coming today, and hopefully you can do that every month or two, and
Yeah, I'll start coming
I think
more often.
that's.
Really appreciate you coming.
Yeah. And, I'll do my best to get these issues taken care of as quickly as possible, so.
Well, you've always been on top of it every time I've called, and I appreciate that.
You have a business card, Wade?
Yeah, I've got a few with me here.
That way we can, I'd rather do it on the phone, or than,
Wade, if there was a way that, like on your website to report a road problem, if there was a way that we could sign up as a county, or a way that it's coming from us, where the board could give us those requests and put that on there, because right now, I put in several of them when people call in, but they're all from Bill Dingus. So it looks like I've got
Looks like
road
you've got all
issues,
these.
yeah, all kinds of road issues. But if there was some way that you could click that you're a local government making this request, or some sort of mechanism like that.
I'll check with our, the guy that runs that program's in our district office in Bristol. I'll check with him and see if there's anything we can do like that.
Then that feedback that they were asking about would come back to our email.
Yeah.
It'd be like that.
I'll see what our options are there. and let you know.
Appreciate you coming.
But I've got 4 cards with me, I'm sorry. What if you've got one?
I've got your contact.
Okay,
Appreciate that.
thank you. Let me,
right.
just let me know if you need anything.
Thank you for coming.
You're welcome.
Send us take a 10-minute break. Call the meeting back to order. Next item on the agenda is item 11, Smart Scale Letter of Support. Ms. Starnes.
You have 2 letters of support to consider this morning. The first one is for the Kingsport Metropolitan Transportation Planning Organization to submit a smart scale project for the Weber City project, which would be from the state line to the River Bridge. It's important when you consider these resolutions to know that if you pass this resolution and we move forward with the application, that you are standing behind that application as it moves through smart scale, and if it's funded, that this project will go forward. Or if you back out once pressure begins to mount from the citizens or businesses in Weber City, if that does happen, then you would be responsible for the cost that VDOT has incurred up to that point. So I just wanted to make you aware of that. The first resolution is to support the smart scale project from the state line to the River Bridge. The smart scale application will be submitted by the Kingsport Metropolitan Transportation Planning Organization, because there is a separate pot of money that they are eligible for. And the weighted factors this year are economic development's 30%, safety's 30%, accessibility 10%, congestion mitigation 10%, environmental quality 10%, and land use 10%. And the second resolution is basically the same, but it would be in support of your application for smart scale, which would be from the River Bridge to the Addington Oil at the railroad crossings there at that intersection. So 2 separate resolutions.
Do we have to separate them? Can we vote on them together?
I would do them separate.
Okay. All righty. So with that, I hope you had a chance to look at them. I have, and we will do the first one, which is the one from the state line to the River Bridge, correct?
Correct, for the Kingsport MTPO.
Yeah. Or do we have a motion on that letter of support?
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Bricky made a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Tippin, second. Any discussion? All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. I vote aye also. All right, the second one is from the River Bridge to, where did you say?
Let's see, let me find the name.
Addington.
Quick
Yeah.
stop.
Yeah, but there's a name for that
Addington.
crossing.
Addington.
The name of the project is US 23 at Chapel Street, Safety Railroad
Okay.
Crossing Improvements. So that comes all the way down that Weber City corridor
Okay.
to
Or
the Y.
do we have a motion on the second?
I'll make a motion.
Mr. Tipton made a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Jeter, second. Any discussion? All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, Ms. Starnes. Next is the ARPA projects. The committee met last week after we had our budget finalization. So, Ms. Starnes, if you would.
The ARPA committee has 3 projects we would like to recommend for funding from the full board. The first one is a website upgrade, and we would like to request funding of up to $40,000 to redo the county website. The second one is an APHID grant match of $25,000. This is a 1-to-1 match with a grant EDA has received to build a farmer's market in Nicholsville. And the third one would be to work with a retail consultant up to $115,000 over a 3-year period. This would be something at the moment we're going to table, but we would like to earmark the funds for that project. And that is a 3-year amount for the contract.
At 115, you said?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And what is that again, Fred?
It's for a retail consultant. It would be for a retail consultant to come in and look at all county properties, and they would be the recruiter for retail type businesses. And that is a 3-year contract period. We would have to do an RFP, so that's why we want to up to amount.
The second was 80,000,
The second one was 25,000.
25,000.
Grant match for the Nicholsville Farmers Market. The grant's 25,000, the match is 25,000.
And then 40,000 for the website, that's great.
Up to 40,000 for a
Okay.
website. If it ends up being more than that, we will come back and ask for more, but that's where we're at right now. So the 3 total, 180,000.
Would they be working at,
John?
Yes.
that life?
Yes.
Can we do these together? Yes, we can.
We can.
The committee. All right,
Unless there's one that you're not in favor of.
okay. If you have an issue with any one of these, we can do it differently, but if not, we will do it together. And we have these committees for a reason, and I like to take the recommendation from that committee to go forward with it. The one thing I would like for you to look at down the road somewhere, we'll get into that later, let's do this first, and we'll talk about the second. We'll do these together, it'd be the 40,000, 25,000, be a total 180,000. So do we have a motion to approve these projects as presented to you from the ARPA committee?
I'll make a motion, we approve them, if nobody has any problems with them.
Ms. Hood made a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Tipton, second, any discussion? All very vote saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. What I was gonna say is, we need to look, if we can use ARPA money to do it, is look at the old jail complex, the old sheriff's office on demolition. Y'all be thinking about that, the committee research, and I know Bill could probably be the lead on it, forward report back to you on that, but we need to do something with that. And the storage, that they have stuff stored in the old jail, some kind of mod or something, stored, a temporary storage facility for that stuff. Bill, your thoughts, if you think any of this is, if it's doable, or your thoughts on what we should proceed with this? I mean, you're dealing with this firsthand, I mean.
Yeah, the first thing to do is to figure out where we're gonna put what's stored in the old jail now. Some of it being evidence. So we've been working with the sheriff's office on trying to figure out what kind of facility they would need. The other stuff stored in there belongs to the clerk's office. And it's also stuff has to be stored for perpetuity. And so we're looking at options there. As far as the demolition of the buildings, that should be pretty straightforward. And then what we want to have after they're demolished, if that runs, be a gravel parking lot until we decide what we want to do in the future.
Does that stuff, it has to be stored, Bill, does it have to be stored in a climate control?
It's paper documents, a lot of it is, so I would imagine some sort of conditioned space, which the old jail is not really that right now, so. And I'm not sure what the evidence consists of. It's locked up and you can't see in there, so.
Is there any storage room back in here that's available, is it all taken?
There might be some storage area, but nothing secure like that. Like where you could put evidence. But,
The reason I was asking, it had to be climate controlled is, you know, I was at an auction the other day and they sold a whole bunch of, well, they sold 4, these tractor trailer enclosed. And I didn't know where you could use something like that or not.
I've been in contact with the pod company, and they can build to suit whatever you need. There's another issue with housing the prisoners that they bring to the jail for court proceedings and looking at pods. The only issue I have with that is everywhere I've seen doing something like that, like Dixon County did that for a while. They used pods. But it's something they did temporarily while they were doing something else.
Right.
So to set it up without an end game or a plan to move from the pods into something else. I don't know if that's something that we can do long-term, or if it'd be cost-effective to do long-term.
And I know the sheriff's office has looked at Connex boxes, I think that's what you're talking about, for some of their files and stuff. So that, I think that would work for them, if we could put one of those maybe in a spot at the landfill or something.
Yeah, the sheriff has asked about a pod. I'm not sure what he's thinking about storing in it, up at where we're putting the impound lot at the landfill property, in that area.
What about the building at the break place, the white building up on the hill that the county owns? Would it be suitable for something like that if it was cleaned up, could be used? You know which one I'm talking about, right behind the cemetery office. There's a big white building there that belongs to the county also. Cinder block building.
On top of the hill?
Yep.
I'm not familiar with that.
Is that the one behind Robert's Tire?
The one right behind Robert's Tire?
Yeah.
Okay. We've asked for that a few times, especially for like a maintenance shop, and saying that we would maintain it, help fix it up and stuff, but we've been denied it every time we've asked for it.
Who owns it?
EDA.
Yeah.
We fix that.
Yeah.
We can fix that.
We're paying the bills.
Yeah. Yeah, we can fix that.
I mean, it's just a thought, I don't know. Something that's sitting there not used. It's like all the bays down there, sitting down there not used, not rented, not collecting no money, not collecting no taxes.
Yeah. I'm with you.
Tell it like it is.
I'm with you. I am. As far as that property, I'm just starting to have a conversation about some things that we'll discuss later, not here, but about another option as far as space needs. So we'll probably go into closed session to discuss that. But when we do, anyway, something to be thinking about. But looking at the demolition side of it and what we can do as far as storage. And this is all temporary. Whoever, the judges may be concerned about something that we're doing is not, this is a permanent solution, but this would not be a permanent solution, but temporary, until we can do something different than what we're doing. And Mosley, they put a lot into this, what they presented to us back a couple of months ago, and I heard a lot back from people in the county about, what we can and cannot afford, and so I'm just, pretty expensive stuff. All right, thank you, ARPA committee. Y'all done a good job with this, and your recommendations is taken seriously. We know that it's important what you do. Anything else on that? Duffield Days.
This is for the fireworks permit, which is on your tablet, and in your extra packet is their application. And they will be using Dynamic Effects and Fireworks Company once again, a professional fireworks display for that fireworks show, which will be September 3rd. And it will be located on the grounds of the Crooked Road Tech Building in Duffield. EDA has passed a resolution that's okay to use that property. I would like to ask permission to go ahead and approve the fireworks permit. I am still waiting to get the certificate of insurance, and I will hold that permit until I get all the required documents needed. But that way we've already got the approval done once I get those items. They've always sent those in the past, so I don't expect any problems this year either.
All right, on this fireworks permit, we need a motion to approve this fireworks permit pending her getting the correct documentation, the insurance and so on. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Mr. Jeter made a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second. Miss Addington.
Miss Addington, second. I'll get that right, but I'm getting close to getting it right. Any discussion?
Just a little change.
Yeah. All in favor, vote saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carried. And the $1,000 you want.
We've already done that. We did that last month.
Okay. All right. County attorney items. Can you hear us, Ms. Kegley?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
We can. Yes.
You all have my report. I don't have anything to add. Can try to answer any questions.
Okay. Anybody have any questions for our county attorney, Ms. Gagley? Miss you being here, but we got you, anyway, but in person.
Yeah, I appreciate you letting me do this.
How have we done so far? You haven't had to punch me or kick me, sitting here.
No, I've thought about it a couple times, but no, it's okay. You've done well.
All right, thank you, ma'am. All righty, item 15, county administrator items, Ms. Narnes.
The treasurer's accountability report is in your folder. Available cash after the July bills is $4,999,302.50. That is just a little bit, very little bit above where we were at this time last year. Claims for the month, we have a few large ones. Tobacco Region Revitalization Commission, this is repayment number 3 for the APHID grant, $50,000. So we will have 2 more $50,000 payments back to the Tobacco Commission in 2024 and 2025. Vacor, $117,804.95. Those are the 2 larger claims for the month. So total current claims and early set, it's all the same this time. Total claims $292,192.32 is what needs to be approved for payment today.
And I'm sure everybody knows, so the people watching, listening would know this Tobacco Region Revitalization Commission payment. We have 2 more payments to go, and that is because of Mountaintop Timber at Dungannon, where they were going to do the work there. It didn't happen, and it's all in the courts. I don't know where it's all shook out. Try to keep up with it, but COVID messed things up. So I don't know. Those guys they're dealing with it the best way they can, I guess. But that's just a repayment we're having to pay back because of that. The OLP plant in Dungannon. Anybody have any questions or comments for Ms. Narnes?
I make a motion we pay the bills.
All righty, Ms. Hacker made a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Tiffin, second. Any discussion? All fair vote saying aye. Aye, opposed, motion carried. The one thing that I'm glad to see we got nearly $5 million carryover from in our general fund, and I'm glad of that. I remember when I first got elected, that was a number that our Davenport and those folks said we should have that much in reserve. So we're there, and I'm glad we got that much. We're able to keep that in reserve. All right.
I do have a couple of things under miscellaneous. The first, we have been having some issues at Stony Creek Park with some illegal activities, and the sheriff's office would like to request your consideration if they arrest someone on county property at Stony Creek, if they can charge them going forward, like have those people not allowed back on county property, and if they are, charge them going forward with no trespassing, or that they are trespassing.
Okay.
So that's something that they want you to consider. I think they feel like that would be more teeth if someone is arrested there, that they're not allowed to come back to, because we want to keep that a family family environment park. We don't want things going on there that shouldn't be, because that was built as a parking area for the Devil's Bathtub, and we have a lot of out-of-state people coming to that park, and we don't want that kind of representation hanging out there. That shouldn't be.
Sally, how can we proceed with that? Can you tell us?
I'm not sure. This is the first I've heard about it. So I haven't looked at it. We need a chance to get, for sure.
Look at it and see what you think, and maybe in August you can let us know back how we need to proceed with that. If you would, please. Could you hear me okay? anyway, we'll get back with her on that and see what we can come up with, as far as down the road somewhere, maybe next month, and see how we can proceed with that.
Yeah, it's a new issue
It
that's
is.
just come up within the last week, so
Okay.
something new. And of course, she's on vacation, we've not had a chance to discuss it.
Okay.
The second thing is the domestic violence officer for the sheriff's office is going to be changing positions there. And we currently supplement the domestic violence officer's salary $4,956. And she currently, that employee waives insurance. She doesn't need county insurance, so that has been a big savings. And as you know, because of the Affordable Care Act, if you have an employee that, a position, a full-time employee, then you're required to offer insurance. So what they're asking is for the county to continue that $4,956,000 supplement. And that would be a $40,000 salary for a domestic violence officer, because the grant pays $28,744, and they also, the sheriff's office has a fund that contributes $7,500. So the total would be $40,000 salary plus benefits. Currently, the benefits that we have been paying, it has been $6,542 plus the $4,956. So we're already contributing $11,498 plus whatever insurance costs we would have going forward, which can range anywhere from $8,000 to $16,000 roughly, based on single to family plan. So I just wanted to get your thoughts on that domestic violence officer. I think they're having a hard time if we took away the supplement, finding someone to take that position under $40,000, because with the new legislation that's come out, starting certified officers' pay is $42,000. That was bumped up from the legislation that was just passed through.
Okay.
So just your thoughts on that, on whether you want to approve leaving that in and let them try to hire at $40,000 for that position.
So we would be putting in around 11,500 plus up to 20,000 with the insurance.
Yeah, roughly. The insurance would be your additional cost.
Right.
Y'all's thoughts? Would this be new money have to be approved, or is it?
We could change that when we update the budget. It wouldn't have to be anything that has to be done right now.
Okay, all right. Just food for thought then, right? Okay.
I mean, I need to know whether.
You want to proceed with it? huh?
Yeah.
All right. Do we need to vote on it, or just a consensus of the board?
I think a consensus would be fine.
Everybody okay with it? Not voting?
I'm okay with
Well, I see a lot of head shaking, nods, yes.
Yes.
All right. All right, you got,
And then one other thing, I would like authorization to advertise for a public hearing to set the new tax levy. This will have to be advertised late July, so it'll be before our next meeting. And the public hearing would be late August, because of a reassessment, you have to have a 30-day advertisement period. So that's why I'm asking for authorization this early, because it would be advertised before next
Okay.
meeting.
so we couldn't do it in September, it had to be done late August to have a special call meeting or adjourn meeting, probably to do it.
Yeah, it would be an adjourned meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
All righty, so we need authorization on this, and I think that's, need to do that. So need a motion to authorize Ms. Sarnes to advertise this. Do we have a motion? All right, Mr. Tipton made a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Ricky, second. Any discussion? All in favor, vote by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carried. Anything else?
That's all I have.
All righty, Ms. Pam Cox,
Oh, am I
Tourism
next?
Director. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay.
Hey Pam, before you get started, you come on out.
I wasn't
Okay.
in trouble. You done
No,
something?
I was going to ask Jack, he was sitting there next to you, and obviously you've known him for
Oh,
a
yeah.
long time. I was going to ask you, if he was kin to you. I was going to ask him that, but both of you are very colorful in your presentation, so.
Jack, Jack Mack used to be, in, Trail of the Lonesome Pine.
Well, what I was going to get at, and I didn't, and he left, I have a pole I want to donate, to putting up signage or whatever. It's a telephone pole, okay?
The telephone pole?
So they can cut it and use it for signage and so forth.
Oh, okay. I'm sure they'll take it. Okay. I'll tell him, I'm supposed to sing, apparently I'm supposed to sing tomorrow. Bruce just told me so. Right.
That's what he told me?
So, we're gonna go see Danny Dixon tomorrow. Okay, go ahead. Are you gonna turn me on?
We want your PowerPoint.
Yes, please. And then, but then just as soon as you restart the PowerPoint, then we'll do something, and then we'll do something, and then you have to do the others. Okay?
I'll keep going.
Oh, my.
You have to make it complicated. Why can't be too easy? You've only known for 2 hours that I was going to stand here.
Drop the ball, Bill.
Okay, now.
Got a lot of things going on. Okay.
I can't talk. See, I can't talk without this thing on. Well, I need that pressy thing too.
There you go.
All right, you're in.
Okay, so, we gotta go back, so, see, there's me. Okay, so, this is my, quarterly tourism report. And so, I wanna start off first, telling you some good things. The ADDI, it's the American Advertising Federation. Each community, they all have their own little advertising federations, and so they always have annual award programs and your agencies and folks like that, and we could have submitted on our own. So anyway, the agency that did our brochure and the map and the kiosk and everything, they submitted those materials to the advertising contest, and we won the gold award for the Scott County brochure and the Scott County map. Let's go. So if you all remember, that's a piece that we did last year with the MLP funds, with COVID funds that we got, and then they won a silver award for the Devil's Bathtub. The ad that they did for the TV ad that they did for Creation Kingdom Zoo won Best of the Show.
Wow.
Which that is really, pretty significant. And, this group had never really worked with tourism, with the tourism group. So they worked with us, and then they also worked with the town of Gate City. So we did get another marketing leveraging grant. Well, actually, this one fell under the purview of a DMO grant. And I will tell you that all of the grants that we had gotten in the last few years, we didn't have to have any matching funds because of COVID. But now going forward, we're going to have matching funds. In other words, we're going to have to come up with the $20,000 match to go on with the program. Last year, they would let us use in-kind funds, but we're going to be needing to have our own monies too. So we have $40,000 that we're going to spend on Wonder Love, say a week, a month, a year. And these are the things that we are doing. So Virginia Tourism Corporation, they are offering a program through CrowdRiff. And CrowdRiff is a group that they take hashtags, like if you do Instagram and you hashtag Devil's Bathtub and you hashtag Scott County, and they put them all together. And it doesn't matter who has posted it on a website or anything, or on Instagram, they put them all together and they can put them on your site. So they're doing this free thing with Virginia Tourism called Localhood. And we can put stories, Google stories on there on Virginia Tourism. And if you'll go to the Virginia Tourism site, I'll show you the one that is going now. But these are some of what we've been doing, of what we've put on there. And then what happens is, once they're shown on the Virginia, well, you don't have to, Bill, that's okay. But once they're shown on the,
There you go.
okay, go over to, let's see. No. Go, if you can scroll, no, not that little arrow, that other arrow, that arrow, that arrow, that arrow, that arrow. That one up at the top, right there. Yeah, okay. So see, you can see there's ours, Discovered Edwards Vita. And if you click on that, nope, click on it. Okay, see it shows, it'll show the stories. And it runs through, and stories are the big things to do on social media and everything right now. I don't really do them on Instagram or on Facebook, because what happens is those only stay up for 24 hours. But these Google stories that we're doing, they stay up forever. And so what these will do is, once they appear on the Virginia Tourism website, then they appear on our website. You don't have to show that one. But the one thing that I wanted to show you about that is what has happened in what we're doing with that. Which, you know, here's Little Scott County, and most of the folks that are doing the local, I mean, anybody could do it, it's free. But a lot of the places have decided not to do it because it does take a lot of time. Well, our agency is doing it for us. Of course, you know, I am paying for that. We are paying for that, and that's going to come out of the $40,000 that we have. But we are showing up in impressions. We're showing up third. That means that people are watching their stories as much, you know, more so than anybody else's. As far as completing the stories, we're second. And then interactions, going to our website, we're second. And then visiting our website, we show up second. So that is a huge metric for us to, you know, for people to be on Virginia Tourism, and then they look at that, and then they go on to our website. And so we are, the main thing that we're doing with this campaign is, most of it is video. Well, really all of it is video. We are going to have to do a reprint of the brochure and everything, but well, heck, it's technology here. There's supposed to be.
So if I'm supposed to perform, you're pointing that at me.
No, there's a commercial on there where that little black spot is. Can you see it? If you hit that.
Planning a day trip, weekend getaway, or exciting vacation? Find your wander love in Scott County. Located in the southwestern tip of Virginia, Scott County is the place to go for some down-home dining, one-of-a-kind shopping.
Okay, so this is the video that we did earlier. And what we did was we kind of changed it just a little bit. And it's now 30 minutes long, and it's got like 4 ads in it. And it is running an hour-long blocks in the Tri-Cities, in the DMAs. It's running in Greenville, Gray, Johnson City, Kingsport, Rogersville, Bristol, Norton, Lebanon, Abington, Glade Spring, Marion, and Gate City. So it's running an hour back to back. And I don't know exactly what time it comes on, but you know, it is running. So it's an hour-long show. You can watch that on our website. That's still on our website if you want to watch it. It's a little different from what you're seeing right here, but you can still go up and watch that. And then doing also, commercials. And I think you're gonna have to show them, we've got 4 30-second commercials. I guess you'll have to hit it, I'm sorry.
Find your Wonderlove in Scott County, Virginia, your destination for family-friendly fun. Explore the beauty of nature, have a close encounter with exotic animals, and dance to the music at the Carter Family Fold. Experience Natural Tunnel for a ride on a chairlift and a tour through history. And rest at any of our comfortable bed and breakfasts, cabins, or rentals. With all the great restaurants and shopping too, it's mountains of fun. Discover Scott County. Stay a week, a month, or a lifetime.
Okay, and then if you'll go over and play that one.
Planning a day trip, weekend getaway, or exciting vacation? Find your Wonderlove in Scott County. Located in the southwestern tip of Virginia, Scott County is the place to go for some down-home dining, one-of-a-kind shopping, and comfortable accommodations. Here in the heart of the Appalachian Mountains, you'll find tasty treats, watch history come alive, enjoy toe-tapping shows, marvel at exotic animals, and experience breathtaking natural wonders. Discover Scott County. Stay a week, a month, or a lifetime.
Okay.
Find your Wonderlove in Scott County.
Then there's 2 more. Sorry.
Find your Wonderlove in Scott County, Virginia. This Appalachian community offers endless outdoor recreation and adventure. Experience the Swirling Devil's Bathtub, one of the top scenic destinations in Virginia. Discover the majestic beauty of Natural Tunnel and enjoy epic hiking, biking, camping, kayaking, fishing, and more. At the end of the day, you'll find plenty of great local restaurants and home-style accommodations. Discover Scott County. Stay a week, a month, or a lifetime. Find your Wonderlove in Scott County, Virginia. This beautiful Appalachian community is the place to go for tasty dishes and unique shopping. Try some down-home cooking at the local legend Campus Drive-In. Indulge in delectable treats at the award-winning Family Bakery. Or take the Gutbuster Ice Cream Challenge at Teddy's Restaurant. Scott County is your shopping destination for fashion, collectibles, and fun gifts at all of our one-of-a-kind shops. Discover Scott County. Stay a week, a month, or a lifetime.
So,
Find your Wonderlove. Find your Wonderlove.
so, sorry.
Okay.
So we have 4 different commercials. It's divided into the outdoors, dining and shopping, entertainment, lodging, and general. And so it's running on in linear TV. You get about 33,000, almost about 40,000 impressions a month. And then it's running on streaming TV in Knoxville, in the tourist markets that we've identified, kind of like within, about a 3-hour drive because of the gas right now. And we did go a little bit out a little bit further. We get great reception from the Northern Virginia area. I guess it's an easy drive down here to this market. And then we're also playing they're also on social media, on Facebook, they're on Google search, they're on YouTube pre-roll, and it's using the 4 same commercials, just alternate in and out. And we do have a YouTube channel now. We don't have a lot of things on it, but we just keep trying to, build that up. I did see one of the television spots did show up this morning on Facebook as I was looking. So I always just go real quick through Facebook, and that did show up. And we're also doing part of this grant that we applied for. They really wanted you to work with the visitor centers in the region, in the area, in the state. And so we are doing one of the digital spotlights at Rocky Gap. It's a 2-minute video, and I'm not going to show it. It'll just take too long. And then you got extra points if you included places, if you included all those, and we're doing brochure placements. And at Rocky Gap is where Back of the Dragon is, and then Lambsburg, and then that's right That's right there at that 8177 interstate areas, and then Bristol, of course. So, the other thing is, if you all remember last time I told you that we had talked to DDA about using that property to put in a visitor center, based upon the information that we had gotten from, that grant-driven visitor survey. And, we still want to address the concerns of our visitors. They still need to be able to find, their way around. They need the signage, they need this, they need that. They need a way to be able to get in touch with us, just to see what all's going on here. So Frida and I went to Blowing Rock and looked at a kiosk that they have up there. Their kiosks are, there's different ways that you can go about doing a kiosk. And if we were to do a kiosk, that would be through the $30,000 in the ARPA grant that goes to tourism. But we haven't really decided yet what to do about that. We're going to have a meeting this month with my tourism venues and, just kind of talk to them and see better ways that we can help them. And I suppose, I still say that the best piece of property, even to put something like that, is the property that they wouldn't let us have for a visitor center, because of the traffic and the ability to turn, exit right and exit left. Whereas if we put it up here at Moccasin Gap, you can only go, that's one way in and one way out. You can't make a left-hand turn any longer. So, we'll just see. But we have to apply for that money by the end of the year, by December the 30th, correct?
I think so.
Okay. So, and then for National Tourism Week this year, we sent out the information that was the result of our visitor survey. We sent that to all the folks in the area. And then we also did that little video that appeared. We also participated in the Virginia Tourism Welcome Center fan tour. And, we were approached to do that first, to bring all of those visitor center folks here, but we couldn't afford to do it. I signed the checks I approved the funds for Heart of Appalachia, and just the lodging alone was $12,000. So we need to thank Heart of Appalachia for footing the bill for this. But they took them all over the region, and we started out that day, it was pretty cold. In May, you just never can tell. We started out at the Daniel Boone Interpretive Center. We went to Natural Tunnel State Park. They went to the Wilderness Road Block House. They went to the zoo. And at the zoo, the bus got stuck. You're sitting there, and the worst thing that can happen to one of those tour buses, it's not really that the bus gets stuck, it's that you break the windows, and their trees were hanging down, and that's what you could tell, that's what he was concerned with. So we need to, kind of we have gotten feedback on that, and there's some things that need to be addressed and addressed with some of the venues and everything, just some, minor things that we need to tell them to fix in case, we bring other tour groups in to see them. And so we took them to Carterfold that night. They ate. The Templetons graciously let us have dinner that night at their venue at the Crooked River Lodge, and it was just outstanding. We were sitting there, and it had gotten a little bit cold, and so the fog was rising up out over the valley, and it was just absolutely gorgeous, stunning. They have loved it. I've seen and talked to several of them since then, and they're like, when can we come back to Scott County in the heart of Appalachia? And I'm like, well, just come on. So these are the events that work this spring, and you know, I will say that most everything has returned to normal. So, and that's, you know, that is a nice thing to see. So we did run the tunnel, that's what we kicked off with, and Frank Kibler, you all know Frank, Lynn Wisco, he has run that race and done that race for the last 22 years. And he retired, this was his last race that he put together and everything, so they gave him a nice going away plaque and everything. And fortunately, it wasn't as cold this year as it was last year. I mean, it was just awful last year. But so, then they did gravel at the gate. They changed that's the event that they changed the name of. And moved the date, moved the time, and I think that really hurt their participation this year. They went from almost 100 riders last year down to 25 this year. So they kind of need to, but you know, that's a gate city event, and they just kind of need to think about, you know, if you've branded something one thing and people realize that that's what it is, that's kind of, you know, once you start a brand, it's kind of hard to change it, but that's just my own personal opinion. Does not reflect the views of the Board of Supervisors or anybody else. So I just thought I'd better say that. Okay, and then they did do a new event in downtown Gate City this year, which was an overwhelming success. They did this on Memorial Day weekend. They did their first inaugural Jeep Jamboree, and it was packed. The whole street was lined. It was, I think they were very, very well pleased with what happened with that event. They also, unfortunately, Nicholsville Days was going on at the same time. I did get out to Nicholsville Days and get to take photos and judge the dog show. I judged the dog show with Bill's wife, Alana, and but then apparently I was not, dang it, quick enough to get everything posted that day online and everything, and somebody was very, very extremely critical of the fact that I wasn't just Johnny on the spot and didn't have everything up there what I should have. So I apologize to that person, kind of, sort of. If you all, I'm sure everybody knows that Rita Forrester, who is the executive director of the Carter Fund, won the most prestigious award ever this year. She received the Virginian of the Year award. And I can remember she called me and she said, this just doesn't sound right to me. She said, some man from Farquhar she said, I don't know how you say it. I said, I think it's Farquhar. And then somebody corrected me, and it's Fakir. She said, somebody's called me. She said, it must be a joke. She said, I've won some big prestigious award. And she's like, I don't want it. And she said, and I've got to go do this, and I've got to do that. And I'm like, what is it, Rita? And she said, I don't remember. She said, I don't know what it is. And so she goes, and she goes to, Richmond. And they give her this big presentation, and then you see the story in the paper, and I call her up and I'm like, dang, you're the Virginian of the Year. I said, do you not realize what a big honor that is? And she goes, you all know Rita very well. She's so humble, and she's just kind of like, well, I don't know how. But so then those folks came down. I call them the Secret Society, but they work with the group they're out of Charlottesville, out of the Charlottesville Law School or something. And so they had a big dinner for her. Danny was there. she invited a lot of folks. She wanted to show them what true country cooking was all about, because
It was good.
they treated her so nice and everything. And so they presented that to her at the Fold, so that everybody, and Carson Peters played that night. So, you know, it was a big deal. And, you know, we might want to think about doing something for her too. So, it's just a thought. I know since I'm being recorded, I didn't want to say that.
They probably didn't hear you, but go ahead.
Okay. And then downtown Gate City had the Clinch Mountain Music Fest. That's something new that they did this year. So it was just a vendors festival. The lady that wrote the Virginia is for Adventurers, she did part of her scavenger hunt here in Scott County at Natural Tunnel. And she got some great publicity on that. And then, of course, we had the 4th of July parade. That was the first time that Gate City has done a 4th of July parade, and I saw some of y'all in the parade. But yeah, I'm not real sure. I think the Gate City United Pentecostal Church, I think that they're the ones that sponsored this event for Gate City and the Gate City Frontier. But it was nice. And then, of course, Weber City did some 4th stuff, and Dungannon had their 4th of July parade with those cute little girls. Do you know those little girls?
Yes.
Are they related to you?
No.
Oh, they were so cute.
Rue Dooley and Everly Dooley.
Rue?
Sisters. Rue is the little one in the blue dress.
Rue, that's such a cute name.
They are Dwight and Mildred Lane's great-grandchildren, actually.
They're adorable.
Amy and Michael Dooley's grandchildren.
Oh, okay. So, and then, so we've had some new businesses. I'm glad to say we did some ribbon cuttings at Boutique 276. And I've stopped in to see her a couple of times, and she said that business is doing great for her. She's just as excited to death as she can possibly be. And we asked her where she got the name 276, and she was like, well, that's exchange here, 276. So I would have never thought about that. And then we went to the grain bin. And I know everybody, if you drive Wadlow Gap Road, you were wondering what in the world is going in there. What in the world is going in there? And she's got the beautiful shop in there. So if you haven't stopped, I know, have you all gone back?
Well, I have. Remember, you went here at the last board meeting, but I thought we bought a quilt from there.
Oh, okay. So she has just some really interesting stuff.
She does.
Yeah, so, as far as I can tell, things are back to normal. These are upcoming events. They are doing Railroad Days, July the 16th. I don't know if they'll have a train this year. Remember last year they didn't have a train, and so I've missed a couple of meetings, so I don't know what's been worked out. They're doing an entrepreneur workshop August the 4th at the Pioneer Center. Gate City Frontier is doing Back to School Bash. Carter Family Fold is doing Appalachian Rising August the 6th. Duffield Days is...
That's the wrong date.
That's right, I've written the wrong dates there. And how I got that, I don't know. That would be...
The 3rd's on Saturday.
The 3rd is it's the 2nd and 3rd, right? So it's
No, it'd be
Friday and
Saturday.
Saturdays.
No, it's always Saturday through Monday.
Oh, okay.
Getting the Papa Joe thing usually on Monday, Labor Day.
No, it's on Sunday.
So it'd be the
Yeah.
3rd and 4th.
3rd, okay.
Yeah.
So, and downtown Gate City is doing their first praise concert, Rise Up and Praise Worship concert with a gospel group called Unspoken. The Papa Joe Smitty Festival is going on. We have our first meeting for that next week. Pungo Farms is reopening. They will be open September the 1st to October the 31st. I have talked with him. He said, yeah, we can't wait to be back open. So IBMA, the International Bluegrass Music Association, is happening again September 28th through October 1st in Raleigh. We normally go to that. Just may go again this year, I don't know. Lighting of the Tunnel is going back on, and the Gate City Christmas parades are going on so we are doing, I'm going to hand this out, on July the 28th, we're doing a venue meeting. I'm sending out my invitations out today, and I'm trying to invite all of the venues that have something to do with tourism, and I'll put something on Facebook too to tell them to come. And we're doing that at the Daniel Boone Wilderness Road Interpretive Center, 6 o'clock, and we're going to talk about, the kiosk, whether they think the kiosk will be beneficial for them, because there are things that you can add with the kiosk, such as, if they wanted to have coupons or things like that. But all of those extra things that you add on, they cost money. So we need to see, what, and even if they think a kiosk would be good, I don't know now what's the best thing to do with that money, since we couldn't do the visitor center. What their biggest concerns are and the ways that we can help them from a tourism perspective. I've seen the folks at Clinch River Life, they've been doing great. I see their little bus do their tournament. Even with that construction there at the bridge, you would think that would have really hampered them, because they have to do that little turn right there. They're still being able to make that, so it still seems to be okay. Free publicity right now, we're at 129,808. That's down from just a little bit from what it normally is. And then, so our social media, it just keeps going up. I continue to do the weekly emails, and one thing that has become interesting this year is that those weekly emails they gain and gain in popularity, and we have like about a 20% open rate on those, which industry-wide is about 6%. So that's really a pretty good thing. And so, do you all have any questions? I'll let you pass those in case you need to remember what I said.
Any questions or comments for us?
Just comment, I just don't give up on your passion of what you're trying to do, with something on this end of the county in terms of the visitation center.
Thank you. One thing too, if we do a kiosk, you've got to have, it has to have Wi-Fi. So, you have to have Wi-Fi to operate it, and I don't know if there's Wi-Fi up there at that anyplace else, but maybe we'll work with Scott County Telephone Co-op to put Wi-Fi wherever they are, and if we do end up doing one, and make that a Wi-Fi hotspot. So, does anybody?
Anything, Ms. Cox?
Oh, I have something. So, I'm going to stay for a little while. So, and if I'm going to stay for a little while, I've decided something. I've decided we all need to do something amazing. Let's do something amazing.
I'm glad you're staying. I'm just sorry we're not going to Australia. Was it Australia?
Well, we can still go. She's still going. She's still going, and my husband still ain't going, so I still need somebody to go with.
All right, sounds good. We'll have a blast.
Yeah. So let's do something amazing.
What did you have in mind?
I have something in mind.
I knew you do, that's why I'm going. So,
I have something in mind, and I'm not gonna let it go.
all right.
I'm not gonna let it go. You have a property sitting there that there's not been anything done. Let's build something there. Let's build that agriculture center and that indoor-outdoor facility. And then if we could get somebody that wanted to do a housing development in that area, they could do an equine community and have some trails and some things like that. And there is somebody that might be interested in doing that. Don't y'all want to do that?
Sounds very interesting.
Well, okay. Why don't you put, why can't we put it to a vote? See what the citizens want to do. Isn't there a thing called a referendum?
There's a little thing called money that we're gonna have to come up with.
Oh, no, I got that settled too. So
Okay.
you can take that jail and stuff, and the courthouse. This wasn't my idea. It was somebody else's idea. So you can move them in here, and you can move our offices to where the television building was. And then see, we're all over there together. And we're over there with the equine and the agriculture center and the indoor-outdoor center, and we'll all have a jolly good time. I guess you want me to sit down now, don't you?
I like it. You know, I'm a big supporter.
Thank you. What?
I'm a big supporter of you.
I know. Well, so you don't know until you try something. Right?
Absolutely.
A center like that would be ideal.
It would be ideal.
We are so close.
I've mentioned it a few times, and in the past, other boards have even done studies. I think I told you
I've
about Scott Gerald.
I've got the study.
You know, at the time, there was a lot of money, and I'm sure it's still a lot of money.
But we can get money.
But I mean, you know, the space, not just office space, but you could have like a small arena, you know, where you could have rodeos, agricultural shows, expos, farm expos. There's all concerts. You could have all kinds of things that would bring people in, and then, of course, to make sure, you know, they didn't spend their money here.
Right.
You know, that's how we pay for it. But and that's something I've sort of. You may have the numbers on this. I don't know. I may need to talk to somebody at EDA, or maybe we can find out. But how much money we think people are coming. You know, is there a way for us to look at people's receipts? And
yes, we can pay to have an economic development study done.
Yeah.
What's that group called? I don't know. It starts with the C, and I can't really think.
I'd like to know the numbers. I mean, that's what it all boils down to, is how much, you know.
Well, what do you call those? Feasibility study.
Yeah.
You just do, you know, have somebody do a feasibility study. You start there, and then if it's, you know. So I'll go now. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Pam, here's some extra if you want.
Oh, thanks.
All right, we're down to item 17, comments, requests, recommendations. Mr. Jeter, you have anything?
Thank you, staff, for all their hard work.
Mr. Tipton?
Yes, I think the good Lord, we had a Vanderbilt visit, and so we're waiting on the results probably today or tomorrow. I feel good about that. We're able to be here, so I thank the board for all that you do, and I thank the staff. I think we have a good board, and a lot of good, interesting ideas, and I believe everybody here wants to serve the people. We don't look at it as a district, we look at it as a county as a whole. That's how that it ought to be. And I want to thank Ms. Nelson and Mr. Osborne for coming today, and them sharing about the Convention of States issue. And if you haven't been hearing about that, you should. We should try to get on board with that if you're not. And was grateful to be out in the parades on the 4th of, well, I guess it's Saturday for the Gate City Parade, and then on the 4th of July for the Dungannon Parade, and to be a part of that, and to see the people coming out and finally getting back out into the communities and out in the open again. And so, again, appreciate the staff for all that you do. And you make us look good, so appreciate that.
Mr. Harron, have anything?
Appreciate what everybody's doing. Glad we've made it through another fiscal year, so hopefully this next one will be better.
Mr. Rickey?
I really have enjoyed all the presenters we've had today, from the first to the last. I think it adds to our meetings a lot when we have people come in and express their opinions.
Okay.
And Pam gives you something to think about, doesn't she?
She wouldn't be Pam, but she didn't give you something to think about.
It
She would
wouldn't
not
be Pam.
Yeah,
But
she does.
she
She does
gives
good.
you a lot to think about, especially
blessed
the
to
last
have her.
thing she threw out there. So, yeah. I appreciate all of you.
All right. Ms. Hood?
I don't have anything.
Ms. Addington?
I do have something that I
Okay.
do want us to think about, consider, and I don't know what everyone else feels, but I will tell you, I want us to reconsider, consider, amend, do something to this food tax that we've imposed. The small businesses that we have put that on is just a handful. And it is a lot more than, it is a lot, in my opinion, it's more trouble for them than it's gonna be for us for it to be worth. The front porch in Fort Blackmore, I know, is affected by this. Midway Market's affected by this. The ones in Duffield are affected by this. And I understand that the McDonald's is the largest generator of those funds. But I think we need to really think about what we have done to those smaller businesses, because we have hurt that. We have, in my opinion. And I don't feel like I fully thought about that and considered that when I voted. So I do think we need, I mean, we've imposed another tax on them as a government entity. And I mean, I'm not, and I understand, I just don't think that, I don't think that it's going to be worth, I think we need to think about putting a amendment to it to have that when they exceed a certain amount, or, you know, let the smaller businesses that are doing this fall into this category maybe. I don't know, I mean, I want to talk to Sally about it. I messaged her. I just feel really strongly that we need to think about changing or editing that or amending that, because it is a lot of paperwork for those folks. And we have put an 11% tax increase, or we are collecting they are 11% taxes on the front porch, Midway Market,
Rally Mart.
Rally Mart. I think we need to think about that, because I, honest to goodness, don't think that and the more I thought about it, the more it's on my heart, it's burdening my heart to say something about it, because I mean, I'll be honest, I don't feel like I fully thought about the implication of that before, because I don't think what we're going to gain from those smaller businesses is worth the trouble that it has caused for them.
I can get you a report that shows what was collected. We received the
Perfect.
first payment in July, and I know that was close to $14,000. And I know Beverly at Front Porch still doesn't have her cash register where it can do all the tax buttons. Rally Mart, I talked to them, they didn't have any trouble with implementation. But I do know that we got almost $14,000 for the first.
That was from McDonald's.
I'm not sure who it's from. That's the report I'd need to see.
Yeah, I'd like to see that too, if you don't care.
Can I back up and say something, or can we back up?
Sure.
I fully agree with you. There's some, you know, it's one thing about the paperwork. I'm sure there's a lot of paperwork, you know, that goes into all that. But you know, I've talked to a few of the smaller, like gas stations, you know, and they'll make biscuits and you know, sandwiches and stuff like that. You know, one thing that we might see is that they'll cease to do that.
Yes.
They,
And that's what I'm- that's what's concerning.
We'll drive them from doing that. One of the gas stations I talked about, and, you know, that I talked to, you know, this is a bad time, you know, for all businesses. You know, with the pay scale and you know, the minimum wage, things like that. But I was talking to him, you know, the EPA, or not the EPA, it's the Virginia, I guess I don't know.
DEQ.
I guess that's who it was. But anyway, forced him to buy a $20,000 savings bond in case something happened. But if he would have a spill, that's the first thing they get. They get that to help cover the, you know, and we can go on and on about these little things. You know, we might not think that's a lot over a year's time, but that's a lot on a small business. Where they're struggling right now anyway.
Yes.
Time-wise, I think it was a bad time to implement that. And I know we have to run the county, you know, I think we need to look more into it, maybe if there's ways to adjust that. I don't know, but you know, I've had the same feelings.
Okay, heard from all of you, and I don't have anything to add. Had a good meeting, productive. Anyway, we will meet back here. What's the date in August? You don't have anything in closed session?
No, okay.
Not that I know of.
August 3rd.
August 3rd, all right. So with that, we will meet back then. If nothing else, we will stand adjourned.